I want you to imagine this. You've worked hard, saved carefully, and now you're finally standing at the water's edge. But instead of fishing, you find yourself just reorganizing your tackle box again and again and again. Many retirees do the same thing with money, constantly reviewing, adjusting, rebalancing, researching, but not actually enjoying the retirement they've earned.
We're back on Your Retirement Elevated. I'm Walter Storholt alongside financial advisor Scott Dugan of Elevated Retirement Group. More than 2 decades of financial planning experience and helping clients get to and through retirement successfully. Scott, great episode topic today. I love the idea of the tackle box and finding almost more enjoyment in just reshuffling the tackle box than actually going fishing. There's like lots of different things we could probably apply that to in life.
It goes a long ways. And I had a very close friend of mine, Stephen. It was just in passing. He was visiting, and so he goes, "Hey, as a kid, we used to play tackle box." I'm like, "What is that?" And he goes, "I call my buddy up and say, hey, you want to come over and play tackle box?" And then his friend would bring his tackle box over, and they'd sit in the garage, and they'd look at the tackle, and they'd pull everything out, and they'd clean it and reorganize it. And he said, the unfortunate part is that they did that a lot more than they did fishing. And
I love it.
And that's great to plan. That's super important and be prepared to be organized. But living it out is just as important. Doing tons of research about all the trips you want to take, but never booking the ticket, never committing. That's in my opinion, it doesn't bode well for a fulfilled life for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of engineers as clients, and because that's my personality is more of an engineer. All of our advisors are very engineer driven. And we understand that over planning can feel safe, but it often delays the very experiences you've been preparing for. Mm-hmm. And really, retirement should give you confidence to live today without fear of running out tomorrow. And that's why really a solid plan, once it's enacted, should give you the green light to go do those things, to spend confidently, because you've covered your bases. You're working with someone to make sure they can keep you between the guardrails and let you not make emotional decisions. But again, it's go fishing. Don't just sit in the garage polishing lures.
Yes. As soon as you started talking about that, I started thinking of when we first moved to Colorado, and even before we did, in kind of, exploring, hey, what are we going to do when we get to Colorado? And we kind of knew we were going to get a Jeep, an off-road vehicle of some sort, and we wanted to go off-roading. And I was watching all of these videos, and it looks so cool. And I'm like, I really want to do that. We've got the Jeep. I bought 5 different books that cover all the trails, downloaded 3 paid apps and subscription services where you get all the details of turns and all of this. But I found myself being somewhat nervous to actually go do it, right? And then feeling like if I didn't know every possible turn that was coming up, we can't go on the trip yet. I haven't had the chance to really research this route that we're going to be nearby. And we found ourselves not doing it. And I was able to get over that and say, sometimes you just got to turn down the dirt road and see what happens. You know, now we're not going down the, class 5, you might die trail without doing some research. But for the medium routes and the easier routes that might have a few bumps along the way, like sometimes just go down the road and quit over planning. You know that you're in the ballpark of having the right equipment to get things done. So just jump in there. And there's been a few times we've gotten off the road and we've gone, this is a little more than we were asking for, but that's okay. We've made it through. And that's been part of the fun, So yeah, we've tried to get away from that tackle box mentality. It's not retirement, but in that particular activity, I can totally see the connection here. It's a trap that a lot of people could fall into, right?
Yeah. And it's that we've been saving money for years because we think we're going to build a house one day. Well, 25 years go by, you're still sitting in that money in cash. It hasn't earned a lot of money. You're still in the same house you've had, but you're dreaming about something that might happen. But probably won't. Put in that.
So how can we identify this tackle box trap and start to avoid it?
So one sign would be always watching the market and worried about the next downturn. That means you don't have a solid plan or confidence in what has been put together. If you're a do-it-yourself or you're reshuffling investments or accounts, but never really committing to an investment discipline or a strategy, that's a sign. And if you're reading article after article but never feeling ready, there's got to be something better out there. Or you're watching video after video after video and getting more confused because there's so many different ideas. We see that all the time. And you can tell, we just had this a few weeks ago, one of our CFPs, Tyler, he gets on a Zoom with a prospective family. And the first thing was, now, which people are you? And Tyler's like, well, what do you mean? He goes, I have 4 meetings today with people on YouTube, and I can't remember which. Remind me. So can you imagine having 4 conversations in one day? They're all going to be vastly different. So again, you've got that may make you feel productive, but you're stuck in indecision if you're just gathering and not taking action. And my favorite quote, people say, knowledge is power, right? Have you heard that before? That is wrong. The application of knowledge is powerful. Knowing more stuff and not doing anything with it, not learning, not taking action.
Yeah.
That's not helpful.
Just too much knowledge is suffocating, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to be in my early days of being a homeowner, I was really bad at getting multiple quotes. First person that came out, they were going to win the job just because I didn't have the time or the inclination. Maybe I trusted too much. I didn't get enough research. I didn't get enough knowledge. Yep. So first one that came out, I either got lucky and it was a good quote or I didn't. Then I went into a phase where I was getting too much knowledge, Scott, and I was getting 5, 6, 7 quotes for projects, and then realizing I was getting way too many, getting suffocated and the projects weren't happening. Finally hit that balance of getting the right number of quotes for various things around the house or projects or whatever you're doing, and being like, okay, it's enough knowledge that I can now apply it and move on and move forward with life.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot. So, okay, those are some keys to at least seeing that tackle box trap. So I guess if we're going to get away from this tackle box mentality, we've got to define what fishing looks like in retirement. Easy to see the difference between the tackle box and actually going out on the river, the lake, or the ocean to get your fishing done. But what about in retirement?
Absolutely. So you got to cast that line.
Right.
And I was very fortunate. I was just
and not just in the parking lot.
No, not a parking lot. And so an example, I just had my first fly fishing experience in Tennessee over the weekend.
Nice.
And I'm embarrassed to say that the gentleman said, hey, how many of you ever fly fished? And I'm like, I wasn't embarrassed that I hadn't. What I was embarrassed about is that someone gave me a fly fishing trainer rod 10 years ago. I went out and bought a fly fishing setup at Orvis, and I've never used it.
Yep. You've got the best waders money can buy and all the setup, right? But
and that I've never put a hook in the water. So there I was. We casted for 5-10 minutes. We got in the creek. We fished for 3 hours. I caught 2 pretty good sized fish. Our buddies did too. It was a blast. And I'm thinking, why didn't I do this before? This is great. This is so, to be in nature, being very therapeutic. So again, you got to cast the line.
Yeah.
And that's like, drawing a reliable paycheck from your savings is that, casting off and saying, hey, I'm going to go for it. Okay. And really that reeling in is funding travel, family time, family trips, memories, experiences.
That's the fun, reeling it in. That's the highlight of fishing, right? Yeah.
And then you got to trust your plan, not second guess every market headline. Our most successful families, they'll check in every once in a while. I have some clients, they have millions of dollars with us. They look at their values when they come into our office. And they'll say, hey, do you want to print that out? No, if we need it, we'll call you guys. Mm-hmm. These people with millions of dollars. Yeah. So they trust the plan. And now we've had a long relationship and we've proven that relationship. But again, they don't second guess things. And again, having certainty that you're prepared, because the freedom to enjoy the water instead of worrying about it is one of the best experiences you can have. Experience that retirement, use those resources for good. to do those things that fulfill you, enrich you, and or the people that you love around you.
Is your retirement strategy working as hard as you are? Get the answers you deserve with Elevated Retirement Group's information-packed toolkit. Inside, you'll get Scott's book, Exceptional Retirement, along with essential insights covering the 5 key areas of retirement planning, strategies to keep more of your hard-earned money, and how to choose your winning retirement team. Take control of your retirement today. Click the link in today's show description to claim your toolkit at no cost to you.
I've had one fly fishing experience very similar to you, Scott, a couple of years ago. It was a Christmas present. We went out with the guide and did a whole morning of fly fishing, learned everything all the way from casting in the parking lot to getting in the water and enjoying it. And Connie, my wife, she was catching fish left and right. She always outfishes me, no matter where we're doing it. It was her first time as well doing fly fishing, and she was just reeling them in. I couldn't catch one to save my life, and we're getting near the end, right? So it's time to wrap up, and the guide is with me. He's like, "I'm going to get you a fish, man." He's like, "We're going to make this happen." So you talk about trusting the plan. He's telling me exactly where to cast it, and I'm like, "Why am I casting it over here?" He's like, He says, "I can see the fish in the water. He's there. Just keep hitting that spot and it's going to happen." I couldn't see the fish. I wasn't believing after, hours of me just not able to make it happen, but I stuck with it and finally we got it. And the guide was like, "Whew, finally got you the fish."
Really?
But I trusted the plan, kept casting in, didn't second guess him, and we were able to bring it in. So,
See, there's a perfect analogy. I have all that equipment.
Yep.
I could walk out this office and walk 100 yards, and there's people that fly fish in the ponds right outside my office.
Yeah.
I live 5 minutes from here, but it wasn't until I went somewhere and I had a guide, because all it was overwhelming. It's like, where do I go? What do I do? I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
They spent 5 minutes doing this, and then he's giving us little pointers, and we're catching fish within, the first 30 minutes. But it's because I went with someone that's guided many people before.
Yeah.
That gave me what to focus on, and we stuck to the basics. That's just like retirement planning. And I can't stress that. You think about when you do something for the first time, how good are we at the first time? We're
usually not very good.
We usually kind of suck at it.
Yeah. There's beginner's luck, right?
There's beginner's luck.
So you don't want to rely on beginner's luck. Yeah.
So you think about retirement. How many times have people retired before they're doing it? Never.
0. You do it once, right? Typically.
And so when I stress the importance of a trained professional, I have talked to hundreds of people. We've developed plans for millions of dollars. And that's all we do day in and day out is help people retire, but more importantly, stay retired. And that's the best advice I could give you. If you don't want to be a do-it-yourselfer, find someone that has helped people before. Because again, I've done it 100 times. My team has done it hundreds of times. This is not our first rodeo. We know the path. We know what stream to go to. We know what fly to put on. We know how to teach you to do the cast. That's what a good trained professional will do.
If you're retiring for the first time and you want that guide, like when Scott and I went fly fishing for the first time, we actually had somebody there to help us catch those fish and enjoy the experience and do it the right way. If you want to create something similar like that with your retirement plan, don't hesitate to reach out to Scott and his team and set up a discovery call. See how they can help guide you to and through retirement. All you have to do is click the link in the description of today's show, and you'll be able to schedule that time to meet at your convenience remotely from wherever you are. All you do is go to the link in the description to set that up and click it, book your time, have that conversation, go through the discovery process and that meeting and see if it's a good fit and if you want to work together heading forward. And I think that's just a great way to compare this fly fishing experience with planning for retirement. Who knew you'd have such a great parallel designed up for us today, Scott? But
absolutely.
I love it.
Your retirement tackle box is important, but it's not the point. The point is to get on the water and enjoy the life you prepared for. Retirement is about confidence and balance, not perfection. So if you want a written plan that helps you stop worrying and start living, that's exactly what we do at Elevated Retirement Group. So click below, schedule a Zoom meeting with one of our trained professional advisors to help you walk through that process, see where your level of concerns are, see where you need help, and really get an idea of what path you're on, and more importantly, get that plan in place so you can go do the things that you want to do.
All right, Scott, here's our homework. After our viewers and listeners book that discovery call, need you to go and schedule that next fishing trip. All right. You said you enjoyed it so much. You've got all the stuff. Let's commit. Let's go schedule our next fishing trip and make it happen.
Absolutely.
All right. Get out of the tackle box and into the water and fish away. Do that in your retirement as well. For Scott, I'm Walter. We'll see you next time right back here on your Retirement Elevated.
This podcast has been prepared for educational and marketing purposes only. The information in this video is general in nature, does not constitute personalized investment advice, and does not provide a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. All investments involve risk, and different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk. There can be no assurance that any specific investment strategy will be profitable or suitable to you. Additionally, although information presented in this podcast is believed to be factual and up to date, we do not guarantee its accuracy. You should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation and should consult a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies mentioned in this video. Investment advisory services are offered through Elevated Capital Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC. Registration as an investment advisor does not constitute an endorsement of Elevated Capital Advisors LLC by securities regulators, nor does it indicate that the firm has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance advice and products may be offered by a third-party insurance producer, which may be affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC and Elevated Capital Advisors LLC. Walter Storholt, Mark Killian, and Third Wheel Media LLC are not clients of Elevated Capital Advisors. They receive cash compensation for their assistance in preparing and hosting this podcast, and for providing the endorsement contained in this podcast. Because Walter, Mark, and Third Wheel Media are compensated in connection with this podcast, they have a material conflict of interest in providing their endorsement.